Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm showing you how I gave a second life to this vintage armchair. I'm making over a living room for someone. You can get a sneak peek of what's coming. The owner had this chair that she wanted to keep in the space because it had sentimental value, but she agreed to reupholster it since you can see it was in a bad shape. It's from the 80s, so quite old, but it's a really nice chair. I like the shape and I wanted to show you that you don't always have to throw away things. You can still upcycle furniture and make an item look beautiful. So I started removing the old nails so I can take off the fabric and the foam, which was not a foam anymore, it was falling apart. I wanted to completely remove it so I can start from scratch. I definitely did not want to paint it, but after I cleaned it with a damp cloth, I sanded down the whole chair as much as I could. Since the stain came off completely in some areas, I wanted to restain it. I used 60 grit sandpaper first, then 120 and then 240 grit sandpaper. I tried to sand it down as much as I could. By the way, I just want to mention that it was my first time doing a bigger upholstery project, so I knew it wouldn't be perfect, but I still wanted to give it a go. Probably some professionals will pull their hair out watching this video, but you just gotta try and do things yourself. And if it's not perfect, then what? You can still do a good job. After that, I brought it inside and just used a wet wipe to clean off the dust. Then I used this stain. I tried to find a similar color to the original stain. I applied 2 coats using a cloth to spread it out evenly. Then I applied 2 coats of clear varnish. Normally I would use a brush to do this, but I forgot to bring one, so I just used a cloth. I found a YouTube video where the guy was reupholstering a chair that looked almost exactly the same as this chair, and I followed his tutorial on how to reupholster it. I will link it down below. The channel is called FaceLiftInteriors. He explains the whole process really well. And of course mine didn't turn out as amazing as his. I think it's still pretty good considering it was my first time doing something like this. After the varnish dried, I started to work on the back. I put some Hessian over the top, which is a protective layer that goes over the top of the springs. It protects the foam from collapsing through it. By the way, I'm using an electric stapler, which was a good investment. It was so much faster than using a regular stapler. I will link all the tools in the description for you guys if you want to check them out. Then I added a 2-inch wide foam, making cuts into the arms, and I used an upholstery adhesive to glue it all down. Then I used a stapler to secure it to the chair. After that, I added some Dacron, glued it onto the foam. It gives a protective layer again and a soft feel to the chair. Then I measured how much fabric I needed for the inside back, and I cut out the piece that I needed. I decided to use this gorgeous mossy green velvet fabric. It's beautiful and it will go well with the color palette of the room that you will see soon on the channel. I stapled it off everywhere. It was time to do the outside back, so I asked my mom to make this pipe for me. That's the word the guy was using in the video. It just gives a nice finish to the backside. I stapled it off all around the chair. Then I put a cardboard strip on the top to give it a nice clean finish. On the sides I used this metal gripper. I stapled it off on both sides. I also used garden snips to cut it. Don't use scissors, they will get ruined. This part was tricky because it was hard to staple them off with my stapler, but I managed to do it in the end. Then I added some Hessian and some Dacron on the back. I used the sharp end of the regulator to push the fabric down into the metal gripper, and I ran my needle along, pushing down the fabric hard, so when I pull it out, I can see the mark where my needle has marked the fabric. I followed that mark and cut off the excess. Then I pushed the fabric down onto the gripper. I did this on both sides. Then I stapled off the bottom part. I know I should have done this before I did the back, but it is what it is. I wanted to make sure that the arms are super smooth, so I just sprayed some water on them and on the sandpaper too, and sanded them down again with some circular motions using a 600 grit wet sandpaper. It made the arms a lot smoother and nicer. Then I also just added one more layer of clear varnish. I asked my mom to make a custom seat cushion, which I added at the end.
Full stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Everything that I own.
I really love how this chair turned out, and the owner was really pleased with it too. I hope this video inspired you to upcycle your old furniture pieces. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.